What's up, Men's Physique fans, and welcome back to another video. There was only one pro show this past weekend, so all eyes were locked in on the Asia Championships, where India invaded Japan. But was the winner deserving? And did the loser get robbed? This is a big opportunity and a lot on the line. We have to talk about it, but not before we talk about the 2026 Olympia standings. It already feels like since the Olympia, there has been its own season where things are just getting started. And we have to talk about where things are currently at, who's qualified, and who is that next guy to look out for. And then last but not least, is Brandon Hendrickson competing at the Arnold? Yeah, it's safe to say we have a lot to catch up on. But before we get there, I wanted to remind you guys that I'm now taking on one-on-one coaching clients. So if you're going into an offseason and looking to put on quality muscle to be competitive at the 2026 season, all you guys have to do is click the link in my bio. I can tell you this, guys, it will not be easy. It will be worth it. This will be the best investment. If you want a coach who prioritizes communication, the guy who's going to make sure they create a custom plan for you, just no cookie cutter bullshit. You want to be prioritized? All you guys have to do is click the link in my bio. But now that we got that out of the way, I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy this video.
Grapevine, but I ain't hearing nothing great. No, they want to take it off from me, so I give what it takes. Whole life been a miracle, seen everything but a cape. Why would I stop now? Found everything on a journey, but another way.
The second to last pro show of the year took place this past weekend in Asia at the Asia Championships. India tried to invade Japan, but it did not work. But before we get there, I want to give a quick shout out to your top 3 finalists, starting off with your 3rd place finisher in Joshi. If you guys at all follow the international competition demographic of Men's Physique, then you might just know who this guy is. This is a guy who has continuously been in the top 5 at most of the pro shows that he's done. This is a guy who has also gone viral for having an insane physique. And as you guys can see here, that's why he continuously finds himself in these top conversations at most of the pro shows. Walks away with 3 points here, looking absolutely insane. Again, massive fan of this guy's physique. You guys got to start paying attention to the international demographic, man. You guys are seeing it more and more. They're breaking into mainstream, but there's a lot of guys who are still fighting, making a name for themselves, and this is another one of them. India, I'm gonna need y'all to stand up, because coming in at 2nd place is none other than my Indian brother, Hendrickson. Coming off of a win just 1 week prior in his home country at the Shuru Classic, follows it up here, invades Asia, trying to steal an Olympia qualification from the hometown stars, and almost does it. But this is absolutely huge for India and huge for Hendrickson. Why? Because now this puts Hendrickson at the top of the point standings. He is coming off of a win. That's 10 points. And now, if I'm not mistaken, this is a 4-5 point addition, putting him at that top position going into what's going to be the dead period in shows. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. And if he were to win this show, which arguably he could have, this was a very close battle, Hendrickson would have qualified for the Olympia. Like, let that settle in. This is huge, huge for India. And again, Hendrickson is a guy who is going to find himself in those top spots at a lot of the shows. Why? Because he's complete. He has a great back. Hendrickson is a bigger guy. He's dense. And now he's starting to nail his conditioning. Was this my favorite package of Hendrickson? Not necessarily. I do think if he would have brought what he brought just the week prior in Shuru, I think he would have got it done. I think he would have gotten the win. But I do think your 1st place winner, he deserved it. Because coming in at 1st place, securing the win on his home turf, is none other than IFBB Pro YS. YS is a guy who has competed a lot in the men's physique division, but does so internationally in a lot of different countries. So a lot of the guys here, some of you guys watching this, might not even know that this is a multi-time Olympian. This is a guy who has won a lot of pro shows, has been consistently in those top conversations and standing next to a lot of top guys. And here, he continuously shows why. And this is huge. Having a win in your home country and then getting some more momentum going in, he is 1 show away. And with him likely going to be traveling often and competing internationally, and hint, hint, there is another pro show just next weekend in his home country. This could be the opportunity for him to go to the Olympia. Could he seize the last opportunity to go to the Olympia? We'll talk about that in a minute, but I will say this. He gets it done here in the package that he brought. It's very clear. He was bubbly. His structure is beautiful, and I think that is a reason why he won. His shoulder to waist ratio was on point, and again, you can really see the pop in his shoulders, midsection detail. It's just on point. I do think he needs to continue to add this general thickness to his back. Same thing with Hendrickson, but if he can add that thickness to his back before he gets to the Olympia stage, if he gets to the Olympia stage, dangerous. Another guy out of Asia who can truly be making a name for himself. We just saw number 6 in the world out of Asia come and just shock the world. Asia aesthetics is real. Look at these guys, absolutely insane. Look at your 3rd place finisher. Look at your 1st place finisher. I'm telling you guys, Asia is coming. For those of you who might not know, this is typically the dead period for bodybuilding. So it's not common that you hear things from your top athletes. They're celebrating the holidays, they're getting fat and happy, but the content must go on. But oftentimes, it's not necessarily what's being said from the stars, but it's also what's being said from their circle, their friends. And after watching this video from George Brown, I think we have a little bit of insight on what show Brandon Hendrickson might be doing in the very near future.
Y'all see what the fuck time it is. Motherfucking B. Henny back on their motherfucking skull. You know what I'm saying? You see who that is? That's motherfucking Arnold. That's B. Henny, so you already know what time it is, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
After I saw this video, I didn't really think much of it. And then I went to Brandon's page to see if he specifically said anything about doing the Arnold Classic, because I didn't necessarily think, a photo of Arnold, the 3rd slide in on a photo. I didn't necessarily think that it was enough to validate that he was going to do the Arnold, especially when the post wasn't about, Arnold. But then I took a step back and I thought about it, and I said, you know what? George and Brandon, they're friends. George and Brandon, they're on the same, team, right? So I guarantee there's been conversation about him maybe doing, the Arnold Classic or what show he may or may not be doing. So I don't think George makes this video without having confidence that, his friend may be just hinting at doing something. So when I take that step back, I think about it logically. Does it make sense for Brandon to do the Arnold Classic? And I can undoubtedly say absolutely, because he has nothing to lose, right? Brandon is currently 3rd in the world, right? And with that, he is not somebody who, if you're Ryan Terry, you're not doing the Arnold Classic, right? And if you're Ali Bilal, you could, but he's won it before. But if you're Brandon, you're 3rd, why not, right? Those top 2 guys are not showing up. Ali had a falling out with the Arnold. Ryan Terry is not, and you can go collect the massive payday, and not to mention get the momentum going into the Olympia as the Arnold champion. And again, he's already qualified, but this is more of a status thing. He's qualified for life, if I'm not mistaken. But again, nonetheless, this is a huge opportunity for Brandon. And let's be real, there's likely nobody who's going to show up who's going to be able to stand next to him. But then I say those words and I think, the 6th ranked guy in the world, could he stand next to Brandon? Can Corey Morris, the best version, the new reinvented version of Corey, the new coach, could he maybe win the Arnold Classic? He's won the Arnold UK. So this is actually becoming more of an interesting show the more I think about it, because if these applications have gone through and we start to see people, who we maybe didn't expect, we start to maybe see a Corey Morris, we maybe see a Ben Quill, maybe we see a Brandon Hendrickson, maybe we see some of the guys who are in those top conversations looking for a breakthrough opportunity. This is this Arnold Classic. But the battle, this is definitely Brandon's show to lose. We're going to leave it at that. It's going to be a battle, but this is definitely Brandon's show to lose. This is going to be one hell of a show if this actually takes place. You gotta pay attention to the details. I'm telling you got to, especially when you're covering this content. And I'm telling you guys right now, the kickoff with that roster, box office. There's only one show left in the 2025 season, and typically this is the dead period of bodybuilding. After the last show of the year and up until basically the Arnold Classic, there's a big gap. So I want to give you guys a rundown on the current point standings going into the 2026 season of who's qualified, who's at the top of the point standings, and what is likely going to be the outcome. And with this being all new, I want to take my time. So we pulled out the iPad. We're going to break this down. We're going to go make sure that it's not too drawn out, but I think you guys are going to like this. So let's follow through, starting off with the first qualified athlete of the year in Kyron Holden. I'm really excited to see Kyron back on stage. I truly believe if Kyron brought what he brought at his last showing to the Olympia, he could have been top 2, top 3. I'm telling you guys right now, Kyron Holden is a guy who's going to have a very similar Ryan Terry effect, where he's competed often, been just in that conversation, but then has a breakthrough. That's Kyron Holden. And then Mehdi Kabaj, the guy who's probably been the most consistent men's physique athlete. at least top 5 most consistent men's physique athletes over this past decade. Again, second qualified athlete. We obviously have Ryan Terry, Ali Bilal, Brandon Hendrickson, Andre Dayu after winning Romania. So Romania was like the first big show of the year because all you need to do was win that show and you instantly qualify. And with that being that tier 1 show, got his qualification early, and that's a big win for him. There's a lot of momentum going into the Olympia. Then we have Francisco Martinez, again, a rising star, winning 2 pro shows this year, going against a lot of top guys as well. So this is definitely a guy you got to keep an eye out for. He's definitely going to be a guy who likely kind of steals some qualifications, next year. But again, a guy out of Paraguay looking phenomenal. And then Emil Walker. 2 pro show wins, and a guy coming off of a 16th place finish at the Olympia, damn near last call outs, to winning and beating guys who were in the second call-outs. Again, massive fan of his physique, my UK brother. And then the natural athlete, Tory Washington, extremely impressive. Man, one day, can you imagine a natural athlete like breaking into the top conversation, like a second call-out? Do you know how massive that'd be for the natties, man? But again, we'll keep an eye on Tory Washington. And then, of course, Edvin Palmero. Now we're going to get into like the points, right? We're going to get into, those are the qualified athletes. Tory and up. But now we're going to highlight the guys who are just at the top. So we have Edvin Palmero, 24 points. Aaron Banks. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say Aaron Banks is qualified. I think so too, but he's on the points. Like everyone else who has won Olympia has been in they're on the list. But right now, we're still waiting to see what happened with Aaron Banks. I don't know why he says he has 22 points here, but we're going to rock with it. And then we have Jason Hugh with 17. All right. So from my perspective, I had to guess. I think that there's going to be guys who I think you're going to need to be in that. The cutoff is going to be like 14 to 16 points. So the guys who are like right there might be able to make it without having to do anything. But I do think to be safe, you got to aim for that 17. But who knows? We're going to pay close attention to it because that's what's going to be exciting because you have a lot of guys who are already qualified, keep competing. They could change up everything. All right, then we got Mauro Fiallo with 17 points. He competed a lot after the Olympia, had a crazy year. Again, fell off. He placed 12th at the Olympia, or 13th at the Olympia, fell off at his following shows in the last call out at regular season shows, but then fought his way back in, placing second to Emil. And again, just fighting his way back in, man. It's a definition of trying to detach the emotion from the instability of placings. It's hard, but as an athlete, if you can do it, it's going to separate you. Then we have Ben Quill with 14 points and Alex Rogers with 15 points. Then we have Anik, again, 14 points, putting him in that like range. Again, coming off of he got 4 points, and then he got 10 points for the win. But if he wins one more show, he instantly qualifies. And then that opens up a new opportunity for somebody else to come. As a reminder, all the ones who qualify by winning 2 shows or winning one of the big shows, you're in. You're in. But the 25 after that, that's where the cap is, and that's where the battle's going to be. And then we have your 6th place finisher coming in at 13 points, and then we have IFBB-YS with 13 points. So again, we're going to stop there. I think that 13 points and up is going to be really where you got to pay close attention to. There's a lot of guys who are still on the list, like a Jeremy Buendia, who doesn't necessarily need to be on the list because he retired, right? So there's going to be more things that happen over the years, but there's a lot of guys, man, a lot of men's physique athletes already on the list. And not only that, a lot of guys who haven't even competed yet because this qualification just got announced not too long ago. Like, let that sink in. But nonetheless, the men's physique division in 2026 is not only going to be the most exciting of all time, but the most competitive. And I'm telling you guys, get your popcorn ready. The men's physique division is just heating up. And now that you guys are caught up on all things men's physique, I wanted to take a quick second to thank each and every single one of you guys for the consistent love and support on these videos, man. This is typically the dead period for bodybuilding, but you guys are still tuning in. You guys are still showing love. You guys are still commenting below. And again, I love this shit, man. So I'm always ready and willing to talk men's physique. And if you haven't already, guys, take a look at Manifest Competition Wear. I'm telling you guys right now, if you need a Christmas present for your significant other, if you are the significant other who wants it as a Christmas present, send this to your lady. I'm telling you guys, this right here is absolutely going to change the game for you next time you step on stage. And I'm not just saying it. I know it's my brand, but I'm telling you guys right now, the material, the waistline, how we cut it short to make sure that it's not something where you guys have to continuously yank it up on stage, the form fit around the quad, even if you don't have the biggest legs, it makes it look like you have something. It maximizes what you actually have. Manifest, made by men's physique athletes for men's physique athletes. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And until the next video, peace.